Hey guys, it's Hannah. Welcome back. Not a medical doctor. Please don't ask me for any medical advice. Thank you for being here, especially if you're in my upline, downline, crossline, whoever you may be. Happy for you to be here. Today I want to talk a little bit about Sclaressence Vitality. So this is a vitality oil, so it only comes in a 5 milliliter. It's a white label, so it's labeled for ingestion. You should dilute it 50-50 if you're taking it internally. So if you're going to put it in a capsule, you're going to want to put some carrier oil in there just so it doesn't upset your stomach. And it also is photosensitive, so if you were to ingest large quantities of this, you would want to, be careful when you go out into the sun, because that can sometimes impact your skin fairly quickly. So even people think, oh, I'm just ingesting it, it's not a big deal. You do have to consider that when you're going out, making sure you're wearing sunscreen, making sure you're wearing, a hat or long sleeves or whatever you need to protect your skin when you're going through large quantities of these oils or putting citrus oils directly on your skin. So this is a blend of clary sage, peppermint, Spanish sage, and fennel. So these, if you read through that and you know anything really about oils, or if you've been here a minute, those are all oils that are meant to balance women's hormones. And this is supposed to support like your overall well-being, especially in women. Men can use this too, but it's going to be more beneficial to women. It's meant to balance your hormones, help you out in that way. So if your doctor, if you talk to them about it and they approved you taking this internally to support, some hormone balance or whatever, you can take that in a capsule and just do it like that. But talk to your doctor about it. Make sure that they're cool, especially with you ingesting it, especially if you're going to do it on like a daily basis or a weekly basis. Any regular time frame, you do want to mention it to your doctor. If you're like, oh, I'm going to try this one time, maybe it's not such a big deal, but then if something were to happen, you would be like, oh, I wish I would have mentioned that to my doctor before doing that, especially if you're taking any prescription medications. There could potentially be drug interactions, even with essential oils, so you do have to be careful about that. I don't know of any drug interactions off the top of my head for these specific oils, but there are oils that you do need to be careful with if you're taking prescriptions. Anyways, comes in a 5 milliliter bottle, white label, labeled for ingestion. Wholesale, it is $15.50, and retail, that's $20.39. So if you're paying retail, it sounds pretty pricey. If you're paying wholesale, you're like, oh, $15 oil, no big deal. But when you're talking about drop for drop, there are about 85 drops in here, so that is, let's do some quick math. $15.50 divided by 85, 18 cents a drop. That's still kind of a lot. If you're paying $20.39, that's 24 cents a drop. So that's kind of expensive when you're thinking about that. That's something I like to point out, is price per drop is kind of important, especially when you're talking about something that you want to take regularly or use in your diffuser every single day. Think about how much it is price per drop, because if it's a citrus oil, it's going to be very inexpensive. But when you start throwing in clary sage, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, rose, a blend like Mister, or even something like Joy. Joy is not terribly expensive, but when you're talking about using something every single day, it gets more expensive the more you think about it. So it's something to consider when you're looking at an essential oil routine. How much are you comfortable spending per day on oils? 18 cents for a supplement doesn't sound like anything, but you're probably going to put 2 or 3 drops in your capsule plus carrier oil. So then you're getting up to if you say 3 drops, that's 54 cents. Okay, 50 cents still isn't a big deal, but when you're talking about every day, if you really only have like 30 cents to spend per day on something like that, then you need to take that into consideration. But Essential Rewards is the best way to get around that, because you're spending minimum of 50 PV per month, but you're getting points back that you can spend on other products. So it's like getting a percentage off of what you spent that you can spend later on other products. So months 1 through 3 you only get 10%, but months 4 through 24 you get 20%. Once you pass on to month 25 you get 25% back in points. So it does pay to stay in the game, and just do it. You get those points back and product credits, which you can redeem for just about anything on the site. There are some limitations there, but for the most part, any oils are pretty much going to be on there, excluding, I think, Melissa, Rose. There are about 5 oils that you aren't going to be able to use your points for. But other than that, you know, it's a way to get around that. Or if you're talking about just taking supplements straight from Young Living, maybe you order your oils on ER or your supplements on ER, and then you splurge for an oil or a special supplement every, 3 months and stock up kind of a thing with your points. So something to think about. But Sclaressence Vitality, this does smell pretty good, and I use the regular bottle of Sclaressence. I have a roller on the top of mine, and I just rub it on my lower abdomen every day just to support my hormones and just feel good. I feel like it helps me sleep a little bit. I find it to be a very relaxing part of my routine, is to put on my oils before bed, and that's one of the ones I do at that time. So just establishing a routine and sticking to it is very important. So if you feel like you can only splurge for an oil like this, I would wait and not add it in as part of your routine, because then if you don't have it, your body is going to be confused, and we don't want to confuse it. So if you're using something long term for a month or 2 months, you don't want to suddenly stop it, just like prescriptions. Some things you might be able to suddenly stop and it not be a big deal, but something that's working on balancing your hormones, you want to be really careful with. But anyways, in rant, I know that was a long, nonsensical discussion to myself, about why you should be careful and talk to your doctor. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye.